Today we're going to be checking out what has been dubbed as the best engine swap from update 1.56, and well, we have to jump into this. This is the Ford Escort Cosworth, and today, well, we're going to engine swap it and see does it actually live up to its title. Now, in order to have a good engine swap, well, you need a good base car, and that's exactly what you get with the Ford Escort, because with this vehicle, when it's fully upgraded like the one I'm driving right here, it produces 436 brake horsepower and comes in at a weight of 994 kgs. So it is extremely lightweight and produces a decent amount of power. But what makes this thing even better is the fact that this car is all-wheel drive. Now, all-wheel drive is like a double-edged sword in this game, because yes, with your car having all-wheel drive, it just handles the power a lot better. However, when it comes to cornering, well, you are going to be faced with a lot of understeer. But if you haven't noticed, the Ford Escort right now hasn't really been understeering, because if you get a good setup into a vehicle, I mean, look, I'm not even the best when it comes to setting up vehicles, but still, with me throwing in a setup that I think will be decent, it still handles extremely well. And this vehicle just has good acceleration, it sounds good. I mean, it's a good sound. Now, when it comes to handling of this vehicle, there isn't really much I can falter. It brakes when you want it to, it turns in when you want it to, it's very responsive. And around here, also driving park, you're gonna set lap times around a 1 minute 37 second mark like I just did. And I mean, this isn't really with me sweating or really trying that hard to set the fastest time possible. This is with me just driving the car quickly. I'm not really aiming for the best of the best, but just more showcasing you, hey, this is what the car's capable of. I mean, I took those corners almost flat out. I did have to let off, but at no point in time was I just almost fighting the vehicle. It's super easy to control and just, it's a fun vehicle to have. Now, when we head on over to GT also, we can see the engine swap. Now, the engine swap is coming out of the Ford Focus Group B rally car. So this is gonna be a big improvement to the vehicle. Right now we see that just swapping in this engine straight will bump the power up to 532 brake horsepower and actually loses us 40 kg. So it's only positives once we slap this engine in. So for 325,000 credits, it's not even that expensive. So we're just gonna have to say goodbye to that iconic Cosworth engine and swap in the modern replacement. And when it comes to upgrading the Focus engine, well, we don't really have that many parts available, because with it being a race car engine, most of the parts are going to be non-applicable. But the parts that we do have, like the high RPM turbocharger, does make a big improvement, as now we see the power shoots up to 789 brake horsepower. So now the fully upgraded Focus produces 789 brake horsepower and comes in at a weight of 954 kg. So we see that the car is lighter and produces a lot more power. Now, when it comes around here to driving park, as you saw, we are doing over 280 kilometers per hour coming into the first corner. But I am glad to see that, well, we haven't lost the drivability of this Ford. That's just honestly such a blessing, because with most high horsepower engine swaps, we see that once we actually engine swap it, we lose the same driving characteristics it had with its standard engine. And thankfully that's not the case, because this handled like an absolute dream. I said as I spin out, this did handle like an absolute dream when the car had its standard engine in. But if we look past that little spin out of mine, this car is still just super planted. I mean, I have so much confidence going into corners and even exiting, but now when exiting corners, you might find that the vehicle does light up its tires a bit more, which does just almost elevate the experience. It adds up a lot more spice and enjoyability to the whole driving experience. Now I know some people, oh no, you're lighting your tires, you're gonna slowing down your lap time. The fact that I spun out and I still managed to do a 1 minute 39 second lap just says it all. This car is just so well put together and it handles the power of the engine swap extremely well. That's a 1 minute 30 second lap time. I see why people say this is the best engine swap. A 1 minute 30, I don't think there's another car this update that can do a lap time like that, because a 1 minute 30 is incredibly quick. Like I always say, a 1 minute 35 second lap, okay, that's competitive. Anything close to a 1 minute 30, you're in an overpowered vehicle, and I think that's exactly what you're getting with this Ford right here. With this Ford having a rally car engine, that means it's gonna have great fuel economy, which means you can use it for some money grinding events. And the one I want to try it out around is the WTC 800 around Sardinia. Now this is not the best event for money making, but it is one of the fastest and still up there with one of the best events to use. So I'm gonna jump into this vehicle because fully upgraded on racing soft tires, it's still under 800 performance points. So I'm using like basically a fully maxed out Ford Escort Cosworth. However, I did opt for racing medium tires. Now I'm gonna slap the car on over to fuel map level 6 because I don't really want to burn through my fuel. I want to see what this car is capable of on fuel map level 6 and if we can even get this event done. So far we are gaining on the opponents. Now these are group 3 vehicles that we are running against. Not the fastest of the fastest, but still incredibly fast vehicles that have a lot more downforce than what the little Escort has. Now this Ford, regardless, even though it is down on downforce, it should still make up a lot of ground once we hit the straightaways, because you can just see it. Look at that, we are absolutely pulling on the opponents right now. We see our first lap times a 1 minute 43 second lap, which look, I know is not the best. It's not the, I consider the fact that like the proper base cars to use for this event are doing lap times around what, 1 minute 32 second mark. It's not particularly that fast. Now you see I need to dive into the pits now at the end of the 8th lap due to the fact of running low on tires as well as running low on fuel. So we're jumping, we're gonna have the car fuel all the way up to 100%. We don't need to, but I just like to make sure that I always have enough fuel. So that's exactly what we're gonna do now, and then we head back out onto circuit. So far the car is handling the circuit extremely well. We absolutely dominating. We're already lapping opponents, so this is an extremely competitive vehicle that I'm having a whole lot of fun with. So I would highly recommend you actually try this engine swap out. So I'll be honest with you, this car lives up to the hype of being the best engine swap from update 1.56. The fact that I lapped every single car on the circuit, I'll even lap some of them twice. That alone just shows you how fast and capable this vehicle is. I mean, my fastest lap time was a 1 minute 38 second lap, with my total time just being over 25 minutes and 30 seconds. So this is an effective vehicle to use around this event. It makes you money, and talking about money, look at that, 727,500 credits. That is more than double what the engine swap cost me. So buy this car, engine swap it, and you'll even earn a profit from it. So I absolutely love this engine swap, and I will be using it a lot more often. So let me know your thoughts and opinions of this engine swap in the comment section down below. And with this being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.